It was nearly midnight when Daniel heard the first knock. At first, he tried to ignore it, convincing himself it was just the wind rattling the shutters. The countryside was full of strange sounds at night: cracking branches, restless animals, the moan of the old house as it settled deeper into the soil. But this sound was different. It was deliberate. 3 knocks. Firm, patient, human. Daniel's throat tightened. He lived alone. His nearest neighbor was a mile down the road. No one ever came here after dark. He sat frozen in his armchair, staring at the fire that was burning low in the hearth, shadows twisting across the wooden walls like skeletal fingers. Another knock came, louder this time. Daniel stood reluctantly, every step toward the door echoing in his head. His house had been in his family for generations, and every plank, every nail seemed to creak with memory. He pressed his hand to the doorknob and whispered, "It's nothing, just nothing." The door opened with a groan. A woman stood on the porch. Her skin was pale as frost, her hair dark and clinging damply to her cheeks. Her dress hung in tatters, streaked with mud as though she had clawed her way out of the earth. But the most horrifying thing was that he knew her. Clara? Her lips parted, her eyes glowed with a faint, unnatural light. "Daniel," she breathed, "you let me drown." His heart lurched. Clara had been his closest friend when they were children. They had spent summers by the river, chasing dragonflies, daring each other to swim farther into the current. But one stormy night, 10 years ago, she had vanished into the water. They found her body days later, tangled in the reeds. He had carried the guilt ever since. You can't be here," Daniel whispered. "You're dead." She stepped forward, though her feet didn't touch the ground. The air grew heavy, the night pressing into his lungs. "And yet," she said, with a smile that didn't belong to her face, "you've forgotten me. The dead hate to be forgotten." The fire behind him sputtered out, plunging the house into darkness. Clara drifted over the threshold. Every candle flame in the house guttered and died, as if snuffed out by invisible fingers. Daniel stumbled back. "What do you want?" Her head tilted at an unnatural angle, eyes wide and unblinking. "I want you to remember. I want you to feel what I felt in the river, the cold pulling me down, the silence filling my chest, the darkness closing over me. Come with me, Daniel. Just once, one breath." Her icy hand clamped onto his wrist. He screamed as the cold burned into his skin, but the sound died in his throat. The walls of the house groaned as if they were alive, as if they shared her grief and her rage. He ripped free and stumbled back into the armchair. The fire roared to life again, though he had never touched it. In the sudden light, she was gone. But the bruise on his arm remained. 5 purple marks, the shape of her fingers. Daniel did not sleep that night. He sat in the chair until dawn, staring at the door. Every groan of the house made him flinch. When the first gray light touched the windows, he convinced himself it was a nightmare, a hallucination, nothing more. But the next night, at the same hour, the knocking returned. This time it was slower. 4 knocks. each one deeper, heavier, as though the wood itself cried out in pain. Daniel gripped the lantern and opened the door, though his whole body trembled. Clara was waiting, her eyes brighter now, her face sharper, almost skeletal, and she was not alone. Behind her, half hidden in the fog, were others, figures pale and twisted, their mouths open in silent screams. Men, women, children, faces he recognized. Faces of the dead, buried in the village cemetery. They all remember you, Clara whispered. And now you will remember them. The lantern shattered in his hand. Darkness swallowed the porch. The dead stepped forward. The last thing Daniel heard before the world went black was the sound of dozens of fists knocking at every wall of his house, all in unison, all demanding to be let in.